Okay.
And mute the audience. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for coming. Well, I guess there's people on Zoom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hi, thank you all for coming. Today we have with us Morgan Perotsky. Morgan is has a doctorate in physical therapy and is a program manager at Biata Home Health. Today she's going to talk to us about apartment safety and how we can prevent injuries in our apartment.
Thank you, Joan.
Do you need anything else?
I'm gonna ask the crowd, can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, do you need any more lights on, lights off? Okay, I think we have them all off anyway. Okay. So everyone online can hear me okay? If you have any questions on anything, I'll be monitoring the chat here, so feel free to chime in. But I'm gonna talk about home safety today and specifically on, oh no, why is that not working? Hang on. Okay, there we go. All right. So technical difficulties. We are going to talk about home safety and how we can safely live in our personal environments, specifically talking about how we reduce falls, and thrive independently in our homes. Okay. So we're going to talk about how safety begins at home. We're going to go room by room, common rooms that you might find in your apartments, living room, bedroom, bathroom, and kitchen, and how we can modify these rooms for your safety, and then talk about home safe home. So the first thing that I want to point out, similarly to the statistic of you are more likely to get into a car accident when you are close to your home. The same thing, you're more likely to have a fall or injure yourself in your home than you are outside of your home. Reason being is you are more comfortable and I don't want to say off your game, but you are more likely to say drag your toes or slip on a surface. Your guard is down when you're in your apartment. Okay. So 6 out of every 10 falls happen in the home. That's 60%. So home safety, some quick tips that we're going to get into. Biggest thing I want you to quote unquote take home with is clutter. Keeping your home clutter free, cleaning up spills, not having giving every piece of article of clothing a home in your apartment, dishes away, things like that. Throw rugs, they are well kept. Personally, I don't think throw rugs are the greatest thing to have in your apartment. However, if you do have them, making sure that they are well kept. They are not rolling or pilling at any point of the rug. If that begins to happen, typically with older throw rugs, we want to making sure that we are donating them or disposing them because they are going to put you at risk for falling. Okay. And keeping a fire extinguisher just for fire safety, as well as the smoke detectors, batteries in those. Okay. For everyone who has a medical alert or a buddy system, these are 2 ways to promote your emergency safety. So that medical alert system can be in the form of a button, a pendant, a bracelet. The new Apple technologies or Android technologies they're really stepping up their game when it comes to medical alerts. So the new watches, they will detect if you have a fall. And also a crash in a car. Same thing with your phones, they can do that as well. And a buddy system. So for those who aren't so tech savvy in here or online, just having a neighbor check in on you every now and again, and you do the same to them. Okay. Electrical cords, these are something that we really want to look out for. Electrical cords are very hard to spot, especially in a dimly lit area. Think about where your outlets are, think about where your lamps are. All of these spots might not have the best lighting in your apartment, so you're more likely to trip or fall over these electrical outlets, okay? We don't want to have an electrical outlet cross a doorway or cross a common foot traffic area of your apartment. You are more likely to fall over that. Okay. And then if you are having a cleaning service in your apartment or you're cleaning your apartment yourself, you want to make sure that your surfaces, your floor surfaces are not slippery. Okay. A lot of times, if we use too much soap in the cleaning surface or cleaning substance, it can leave a residue on the floor and make it more slippery. Okay. So again, these are all common things to look out for as you maybe head back to your apartment. Take a look, see if there's any of these common fall hazards or safety hazards in your apartment. We talked about unintentional home injuries a little bit, specifically around falls, but overarching unintentional home injuries, they result in nearly 20,000 deaths. They can cause nearly 21 million medical visits. They are the 5th leading cause of death, and they can cost around $380 billion for the United States, just on average. So this kind of highlights why it's important to have a safe environment, especially after I mentioned that your apartment, your home is where you're more likely to have one of these falls or these accidents. Okay, so if it's your space, you have all the power to make it safer for yourself. Okay.
Is this per year?
Yep. I think these statistics might be a year old, but give or take around this for 2024. Yeah. And with inflation and with baby boomers and just everyone getting a little older, these numbers are just going to continue to rise. Yeah.
Fifth leading cause of death.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty high.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the overarching. So it's any accident that happens in your home due to an unsafe environment. And that could be just something small. That could be your fire extinguisher is expired, it's not working, or you don't have batteries in your smoke detectors. So it's not just falls, it's all of the other hazards that can happen. Falls, however, are the most leading cause of injury in apartments for everyone over the age of 65. Okay. So home injuries are largely preventable when home safety practices are put into place. So that's why I'm here today to talk about this with you all. We can answer any questions. So the next couple slides we're going to get into are examples of an unsafe apartment and then ways that we can fix that apartment. Okay, so we're first going to get into the living room. This kind of reminds me of my husband's dorm room when he was in college. So I kind of want to make this interactive. So feel free to kind of shout out what you see as a problem. Everything. Okay. So there's clothes everywhere. There's clothes on the floor, clothes on the seating surfaces. Looks like pizza on a plate. Empty cups, there's so many problems in this. Cords everywhere. Yes. And look at this. This is where you're supposed to get in and out of the room. You can't, especially if you, God forbid, have a wheelchair or a rollator or even a cane. I don't think anyone can get through that. But what I wanted to highlight is we all fall victim to some sort of cluttering, I should say. So I know myself, if I have a very busy week and I get a little backed up on the laundry, the hamper will start to overflow. Okay. Or if I do fold it and then it ends up in the hamper folded and clean, maybe I start picking through it and it still stays in the hamper. That is one of my own personal safety problems that I have in my house. But we are all human. We all have some sort of messiness in our lives, but we don't want it to get to this degree. We don't want it to get to this level of haphazard. Something I will say too is think about the surfaces in your apartment. So, how many of you feel comfortable getting up from a chair that doesn't have armrests and might be a little low to the ground? You feel comfortable? Okay. That is one of the common fixes that we can implement in an apartment, as well as say installing grab bars on the walls. They're not the most aesthetically pleasing things, but these are meant to allow you to grab onto those surfaces to stand up easier using your arm strength to compensate for maybe a loss of leg strength. But something in this picture is these two chair surfaces. This one does not have armrests. This one might be a little bit challenging to get up and down frequently throughout the day when it is not acting as a table for pizza. And then this one is a computer chair. So computer chairs, I just want to put a little asterisk on. They move, so they are not stable. So they are very, very dangerous to get up and down from, right? So if I were you all, I would consider this image of an apartment that might look like some of your apartments here today. These chairs have armrests, they don't swivel. There is no clutter kind of scattered around. Everything has a home. So I'm imagining that this cabinet is filled with, I don't know, trinkets, maybe china, but it doesn't look like that. Okay. You can get in and out of the room. There is nothing on the floor that does not belong there. There's a clear walkway. Something also, the wall switches. You even see there's one. And look at the damage in front of it. So for you to reach and hit that wall switch, that's a false risk. Okay. Here, not necessarily, because you can manage it without reaching over something. Okay. So that's living room. Hang on. Okay. So living room, bedroom. Same idea. Right? This kind of looks like my bedroom with all the laundry. But clutter. Okay. Clutter is going to be your biggest enemy when it comes to apartment safety. Okay. Aside from the other pieces that we mentioned. So making sure that each item has a home in a drawer, tucked away, not where you're going to trip over it or fall over it. Something also, if you live in a messy environment, your mind's also going to be a little messy and cluttered. Okay, so the more organized your personal spaces are, the more organized your thought process is going to be. So just take that into consideration as well. So bedroom safety solutions. You want to make sure that, last question, how many people sit down to put pants on? Sit down to put pants on. Or maybe your socks or your shoes. You sit down to do that. Okay. You want to make sure that that surface that you're sitting on is sturdy. Okay. It won't swivel underneath of you. And you can easily get up from it. Okay. Something I see a lot is the edge of the bed is it's maybe one of those like Tempur-Pedic corners, there's no footboard. And sometimes I see residents sit on that edge there, and it's very easy to fall off of that edge, especially if, say, the bed was unmade or if there was a blanket kind of tossed over it, versus a little bit more stable if you sit in the middle of the bed. So using this bed as an example here. Okay. Another thing I want to highlight is your closets. So I'll tell a story of one time I came to treat a resident for their physical therapy session. I will leave this resident unnamed. And it was a change of season. It was in the fall, getting ready for winter. And I walked in and she was in her closet, standing on her rollator, which is example, front row here, four wheels, not locked, and trying to get a sweater from the top shelf of her closet. I nearly had a heart attack. So one thing to prevent that is your most commonly used items, and this is going to go into the kitchen as well when we get into the kitchen. Keep them within reach from your standing distance, not from you on a ladder or a rollator, okay? Because that is just very dangerous, especially when you consider any medications you may be on, God forbid a blood thinner. You do not want to be climbing any sort of surface, let alone one that has four wheels. And it's not locked. If you yourself cannot put your sweaters, there are plenty of services out there to help you with this, to make sure that you are equipping your space safely. Okay. Next. These two rooms are so cluttered. I can't even think you can tell what they are. This is the bathroom. I don't even know where to start. The countertops of your bathrooms are very easily cluttered with toothpaste, perfumes, makeup, deodorants, shaving creams, razors. Sorry about that, everyone on Zoom. I lost internet connection for a moment. Waiting for it to share. Okay. I am going to turn my camera off. All right. So I have a I would bet a lot of money that half of these are empty. Exactly. How do you know what room that is? That is the bathroom. That is the bathroom sink. Bathroom. What I was pointing at to you earlier was this bath mat. okay, on the bottom right. When it comes to bathrooms, this room is, aside from the kitchen and the bedroom, this is the most common and most dangerous room in your home to have a fall. Reason being, a lot of water, shower surfaces, so countertops, for you to bump into or hit your head. One way to prevent that is having a non-slip rug underneath your feet when it comes to getting in and out of the shower, toilet, sink, whatever your surface area looks like on the floor. But that a non-skid, I think I know we all know what I'm talking about, right? It has that little layer underneath where it stays where it wants to go, versus say a bathrobe, a robe or a towel that will do what it wants to do. And then just absorb all that water and it's become a bigger mess. But that is one way. Another way is installing grab bars. So I like this image. So lots and lots of grab bars. These will help, especially in the shower. A shower stool or a shower chair. Okay. A raised toilet seat, maybe a commode, skeleton frame around the toilet seat just for that arm support, as well as more grab bars by the toilet and sink. Okay.
We don't see that. I was because I haven't seen it.
Oh, it did it again.
In advance.
I'm sorry. How about that?
There you
Okay. So you can see the grab bars, shower stool or shower chair, toilet riser here. It's that little lip there. The skeleton frame around the toilet, more grab bars by the toilet. There's also, not in the image, but grab bars by the sink. One thing to point out here too is the grab bars are not towel holders. Okay, we see that a lot. If a towel is on your grab bar, it means you're not using your grab bar. So grab bars look a little different from towel holders, towel bars. Okay. So just make sure that you're using your grab bar appropriately. Okay. You can also see on the floor here a non-slip mat outside of the tub. Okay. Any questions on the bathroom? Again, here we have a skid-proof mat, non-skid mat. There's also one in the tub there, okay, for everyone with a tub shower. And then a raised toilet seat, a little easier to get up and down from. Okay.
I do have one question.
Sure.
About the bathroom. In my shower. That the grab bar can get wet.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it slippery.
Mhm.
So I use a wet washcloth on top of it.
Okay,
So I think a wet grab bar is not safe.
you are correct. So for everyone online, the question comment was, for the grab bar in the shower, it can get wet and it makes it unsafe to grab onto. So you use a wet towel to kind of add some friction. Washcloth to add some friction. That's totally fine. At the end of the day, you're looking for something to add friction. So you are correct, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. You also can seek out occupational therapy to make any more specific home modifications. Maybe that grab bar needs to be moved, or maybe we can recommend kind of a skid-proof covering for it.
Or reposition the shower head.
Or reposition the shower head. Yep. That is a major role for occupational therapy, to make home recommendations. It's a benefit for you. Okay. Lastly, we have the kitchen. So this is the kitchen countertop. We have prescriptions, we have a bowl of onions, we have spices, we have probably moldy fruit, a bunch of mail and Christmas cards, probably from last year. I think the kitchen is also a very common spot to accumulate clutter, especially if you have an apartment setup that has minimal storage space. Okay, so if this is you, your homework is to go through the amount of Christmas cards or holiday cards you have from like 5 years ago. If it's the pre-pandemic, throw it away. Only purchase as much fruit or vegetables that go on your countertop as you're going to eat in that week. Okay. And spices, go ahead and check the expiration date on your spices. Throw away what you're not using regularly. Okay. That'll help to save probably 50 to 75% of the real estate on your countertops. So, like I said, we want to, you can reach them. You want to install hooks for your pots and pans. In the image here, we have hooks for the mugs. I think that is brilliant. It saves some counter space, it saves some closet space. Think about purchasing a rolling cart for extra storage space. Again, move items to lower shelves and remove clutter from your counters and your closet space. Okay. I guarantee if you go through everything in your kitchen and you consider tossing everything that is expired, you will see a major difference. So again, we want to avoid collecting things that we don't need. So newspapers, shoes that maybe have holes in them, electrical cords that don't work or are greater than 10 years old, loose rugs, pilled rugs, small furniture that might look great but's taking up some room. Just some common things that we can reduce our fall risk for. And then here we have a perfectly arranged bedroom. Okay. So no clutter to be seen. No throw rugs to be seen. Okay. Well lit. Lighting is another important piece. If you can't see where you're going, you don't know what's under what you can trip over. So a cord, lip in your throw rug, your pet. I don't know. The things are out there if you don't have the lighting for it. Okay. And making sure that those switches for that lighting, they're within reach too. So if it's a switch on the light itself, like a lamp, or if it's something on the wall, making sure that nothing is blocking you from getting to that. And lastly, falls or accidents. So yes, 6 out of 10 falls happen in your apartment through the unsafe measures that we talked about. But that leaves 4 out of 10 happening everywhere else. Okay, so just be aware of your environment. Be aware of the surfaces that you're walking around on. Surfaces can be wet, they can be uneven. Areas of Philadelphia, the sidewalks are not perfect. Okay, even here, walking from the front door to here, there's slopes, there's different elevations. Okay, stairs in some spots, right? So just be aware of where you're walking, know where you're getting, what you have to do to get from point A to point B. Okay, whether that's transferring surfaces, using armrests, locking your walkers that have walkers, and just making sure that you're setting yourself up for the safest route. Okay. Right, and lastly, I have this here. Some common questions. Okay, so I'll go through them. When you walk through a room, do you have to walk around furniture? Okay. You may ask someone to move the furniture so your path is clear. This goes back to my comment on unnecessary small pieces of furniture. Do you really need them? Are they blocking your walkway? Okay. Are they just serving as a spot for you to throw your coats as a coat rack or your folded laundry? Okay. Do you have to have throw rugs on the floor? I think looking at the quality of the throw rug, and by that I mean, is it pilling? Is it looking raggedy? Is the corner of it or multiple corners of it, are they rolling up? Okay, those are signs that you might need to reconsider that throw rug. Okay, and then papers, books, towels, shoes, magazines, bunch of clutter. Making sure that those are off the floor. Okay. And then same thing goes for wires and cords, like one's for a lamp, telephone, extension cord, TV, making sure that they're not within your walkway. Non-slip rubber mats for the bathroom, and then grab bars as well. And again, if you have any questions on those, happy to answer them. Occupational therapy is ready to roll to make some recommendations if you need them. Bathroom, one thing I didn't highlight was bathroom safety in the middle of the night. So I know that is a common trip we take, say 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. Consider a night light. They make wonderful night lights nowadays. They are $5 for a pack of 4 on Amazon. They're motion activated. And where they go is they just plug right into your outlet in your hallway or your bathroom. You walk past that motion activated night light and the light turns on and you can see where you're going. We see a lot of falls in the middle of the night from those middle of the night bathroom trips. And like I said, especially in the bathrooms, very dangerous with all the hard surfaces and edges in there. So if I were you, my friends that have the Amazon account, consider picking up some motivated night lights. Okay, turning a light on in the night if you know that you're going to be using that bathroom in the middle of the night. Okay. Any questions? Google. Those are not any of your neighbors' apartments, I promise. Or yes, they probably were teenagers on Google, but I do not know because I would have a lot of words for them. But yes, that I don't know where they were.
Let me invite the Zoom audience to unmute themselves if they have questions to ask.
One, how many folks are on Zoom?
There are 10 people on Zoom.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Are there any more questions?
Oh, thank you, Morgan. Very
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Well, I will end the Zoom now. Thank you for everyone on Zoom.